Good afternoon to all our listeners and viewers of the NDC Heartbeat podcast. We're happy to be on again another beautiful Sunday afternoon in Grenada. Let me therefore welcome all those of you who are listening on radio through WeFM, Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio, and Talk Grenada. And of course, those who are on the NDC Facebook page, we welcome you to the Heartbeat once again. And the lineup for today's activity, today's program, will be a short review of the recent police press conference, where they reveal some rather interesting developments. And then we will go to Canada, where we will be talking to the newly elected chairperson of the NDC chapter in Toronto, Canada. Thereafter, we will give you a snippet of the winner of the Miss Grenada USA pageant held last night in New York. Thereafter, we'll be chatting with the chairman of the NDC chapter, Mr. Liverpool, along with the general secretary. He'll be giving an update on the activities of the general secretary, report from the desk of the general secretary. That's your lineup for today. So we'll be back in a moment, and we start off with just that short press conference, which is just about 15 minutes. Then we get into the meat of the programming. So stay with us. Back with you in a moment.
A few days ago, we engaged with you in a press briefing where we announced the successes, some successes we have had in some of the murder cases that we are currently investigating. In that press conference, we said we were cautiously optimistic that we were going to solve other murder cases that are currently under investigation. Today, I do wish to announce that the RGPF has, in fact, solved the Jonty murder case. Someone currently is in police custody, whom we hope to charge later today or over the weekend for the death of Jonty. It's a 29-year-old male who resides in the south of the island. At this point, we do not wish to release the name of the individual, as this investigation is still ongoing even as we speak. But I do promise you, members of the media and the public, that sometime over the weekend into next week, we will make a release providing all of the details regarding the identity of the accused person. So to recap, we have successfully made a significant breakthrough, or we have made a significant breakthrough in the murder case of Jonty. I know the public has had some concerns over this matter. We have had several calls, both locally, regionally, and internationally. In fact, there have been calls from certain circles that we should extend or we should accept assistance from outside of the region. But we continue to see that the men and women of the RGPF is committed to the task at hand in solving all of the cases that we are currently investigating. We have the expertise, we have the experience, and we have dedicated men and women at the Criminal Investigations Department that can deliver on these matters, and again, they have delivered. You will also remember, in that press conference 2 days ago, we indicated that there has been some reorganization at the Criminal Investigations Department, and that Superintendent Isapia to my left has been brought back to free up other senior investigators to give them the opportunity to go full ahead with the matters that are currently outstanding. Since then, we are now announcing the successes in 3 of these murder cases, the one that we are announcing today being the last of the 3. We do still have a few matters under investigation, and again, I would continue to say that the RGPF remain cautiously optimistic that in due time we are going to solve all of the outstanding murder cases that we are currently investigating. I want to take the opportunity to thank members of the public who have contributed in whatever way, shape, or form to this investigation. To you, members of the media, who have not allowed the issue to die, but that you continue to bring it up. I want to thank profoundly the officers at the Criminal Investigations Department, headed by Superintendent Peer and Assistant Superintendent Hall. They gave human leadership to the team that, today we can now announce another success that we have had. We continue to work hard, and we continue to do what we need to do to ensure that Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique remain the safe destination that we are known for. Thank you, and we await your questions.
Thank you so much, ACP. So the mic is open for any members of the media who may have questions at this time. Please raise your hand as usual in the chat, and we would identify you so that you can proceed. So do we have any questions? I see Linda Straker has her hand up. So Ms. Straker, you can proceed with your questions.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Abigail. This we will consider to be breaking news around the region and probably around the world with your disclosure. Mr. Officer Pear is less than 2 weeks in the post. What level of investigation were conducted before he arrived so that case can to solve so quickly with him at the head? How close were the police to solving that before he arrived?
Ms. Rika, I do not know who you direct the question to, but I am going to take this question. Quite a lot of work. You would recall in a previous press conference, I did say that quite a lot of resources were directed to that particular case. In fact, we have done in this case, and I was careful in the past to say that we are putting resources into that case perhaps more than we have done others. Not because we have a particular interest in that case, but we understand the public outcry, both locally, regionally, and internationally. And so Mr. Pierre came into this matter when this matter was far advanced. But no doubt his presence at CID freed up ASB Hall and other senior investigators to focus predominantly on the murder cases. So Mr. Pierre's presence was significant in the entire process, but the process was very much advanced by the time Mr. Pierre got to the CID.
Ms. Stricker, you have any follow-up questions?
Yes. Can either one of them say whether technology played a role in solving this case?
Well, let me attempt to answer your question by indicating that this is a case that is prior to trial. Usually you call it, there's a legal terminology, sub judice. And as such, anything that look to be evidentiary, we will hesitate in terms of responding or revealing. But I want to join with the statement by ACP when he stated, prior to my arrival at the Criminal Investigations Department, having reviewed the file, a lot of work had been went into the resolution of this particular matter. I want to give recognition to the team of officers at CAD for the forthrightness and the steadfastness in terms of looking into this matter and the other matters that were before them. And want to recognize the stewardship again of my 2IC ASP Hall.
Can you tell us when the person was detained and when did the DPP give his legal opinion that the person should be charged?
Before we get to this question, Ms. Rika, let me just lend some support to the points that Mr. P has made. In any investigation that we conduct in, we pull out all of the stops and we use all of the resources that is available to us, whether that is technology, whether that is IC witnesses. We use all the techniques that are available to the investigators. We do not say to the public precisely what gets us the success that we've had. Those we prefer to keep to ourselves, but just to let you and the public know that we stop at nothing to solve a crime that we are investigating.
Linda, could you repeat the question so the gentleman at the table could respond appropriately? Your last question.
My question were, when were the person detained and when did the DPP give his legal opinion that this person should be arrested and charged?
Again, I would like to refrain or hold back from giving such a response. Thank you so much.
Is the person related to Mr. Robinson in any way?
It's an acquaintance.
So, Stricker, we would move on to GBN, whose hand was up for some time. If we have exhausted the wrongs and you have more questions, we will come back to you, certainly. So, GBN, the floor is now yours for any questions you may have.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nisha Paul here.
Good afternoon, Ms. Paul.
My question was, anyone come forward to claim, with a tip to claim the reward that was being offered by the American celebrity Tyler Perry?
I do not know that anyone has come forward. We'll wait to see in the coming days whether anybody will, but at this point we do not have any information from anybody coming forward to claim that reward.
Okay. Nisha, you have a follow-up question?
Yes, I have other questions, but it's not in relation to the topic that is at hand, so I'll leave it out for now.
Okay. Do we have any other members of the media with questions today? I'm not seeing any other hands. Ms. Stricker, your hand is still up. Do you have any other questions?
Yes.
Okay.
We know we would have had a number of unsolved other murders or homicides. Can we receive a status report? Are any of them close to being solved?
From a computer repair shop.
Ms. Stricker, are you still with us?
Yes, I am with you,
Okay,
but seems
yes.
like somebody had cut in. Okay,
Yes,
so you
go
hear me
ahead.
clear now?
Yes, go
Yes,
ahead.
I was saying there have been other unsolved homicides. Can we provide an update as to whether or not, what's the status of others? Are they close to being an arrest? They pulled Tuesday, was it Tuesday when we had in this conference? Mr. Cummings said he was smiling. Is he also smiling for the other cases that are currently unsolved?
Ms. Rika, because of my confidence in the men and women of the Criminal Investigations Department, I would smile every time they have a matter that they're investigating, because I would I would stop at nothing short of them having successes in all of the matters that are in their hands. So I would ask you to sit tight, be optimistic like we are, provide the information that you have or anybody else have, and give us an opportunity to come back to you, whether it's in the next week, month, or two, to announce other successes. So I remain cautiously optimistic in all of the matters that we are investigating. I am not in a position to say here whether we're going to be making an arrest next week, tomorrow. But what I will say to you is that I am cautiously optimistic again, that going forward we will solve all of the matters that we're currently investigating.
When you had a news conference
hold on
earlier in
one
the week,
second, Ms. Stricker.
Okay.
We have a comment from Superintendent. Yes.
Now, let me add that I'm very much resolute in terms of delivering with my team at CID in respect to all the matters on the investigation.
Stricker, you can continue.
Yeah. Earlier in the week, you did mention about the Lansepine incident sometime in July, and you said that the document was with the DPP for its legal determination. Can you provide an update on that? Has that legal determination been made?
I do not have any further information from since my last statement. It doesn't mean that it has not been. I have just not been in touch with the relevant person at CID to get that information. So I am still where I was on Tuesday, not being able to say whether or not that information is available.
Thank you.
At the same news conference earlier, you had a question was raised regarding the government minister who was in that vehicular accident. Are you now in a position to tell us whether he has been charged or not?
No, Mr. Rika, I'm not in a position to say that. I don't know whether or not he has or have not been. I have not followed up since the press conference. You could understand why. It has been busy days for us doing all of what we are currently doing. Being here again today announcing the announcement that we have just made is, tantamount to how committed we are to the weightier matters. Not that your query is not significant, but you could understand the energies are being directed into places that giving us the success that we're currently announcing. So I stand committed to providing those information to you as I have promised, and I will follow up to ensure I can give you the answers that you seek.
Thank you, Ms. Strick. I see that GBN has their hand up again. So GBN, the mic is open for you.
One other question in relation to the jointly matter. Information suggests that there was an individual that attempted to collect John T's laptop from a computer store. Are you aware of this, or has investigations revealed this information?
I cannot respond in any way with respect to this particular matter. This is a question, and I cannot respond. I hold my.
But let me just add here, as far as you know, was this information made available to the Criminal Investigations Department? Because it seems to me that you've had that information. Have you or anybody else made that information available?
Well, the information has reached us, so I'm just trying to confirm whether or not this is so. If I'm trying to find out if that is a development on your end.
Thank you, Nisha, for that question.
I do have other questions. May I proceed to ask?
Is it related to the particular issue at hand, or?
No, it is not. But
let me just confirm with the head table that they're able to entertain questions not pertaining to this matter at this time. Not right now. So, Nisha, we would have to organize an interview for you at another time, because we would like to deal with the matter specifically being addressed here today. Thank you for understanding. Are there any other questions from members of the media?
Would that arrest be officially done today or within the next 48 hours?
Within the next 48 hours.
You said he was an acquaintance to Mr. Robinson. Is it someone who he would have worked with, or someone he would have just been socializing with?
Let us not venture down that way, and we'll stay with the initial statement made with respect to the person in custody.
Well, thank you, officer. I do await the name of the person and another news conference where I can ask all of this.
This will be made known to the public in a subsequent broadcast.
Yes. Are there any other questions from members of the media? Have you exhausted all questions related to the topic at hand today? Okay, I do not see any more hands. So I want to thank you, members of the media, for joining us. And I want to thank you, members of the public, for tuning in. As the RGPF just stated, they will release more details in this matter in a subsequent press release, I believe, and then there would be a media conference organized so that more questions can be asked and the issue further explored. So we want to thank you very much for joining us.
Well, this was indeed a decision taken by the Heartbeat to share with you this press conference. And we want to join in applauding the police officers, those at the RGPF, for great work. But we must be cognizant of the fact that while we celebrate their victory, while we understand that the families of those who were murdered are somehow rejoicing, we must also remember the fact that there are other families who are saddened by the fact that their sons were involved in heinous crimes. We'll go on to Canada, where we will invite Mr. Garner Liverpool MacLeod. He is the newly elected chairperson of the NDC chapter in Canada. Mr. Liverpool, Mr. MacLeod, as you're better known in Grenada, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Thank you for having us on today.
Great, fantastic. Well, we're happy to have you on, and we're happy to give you a moment to basically celebrate your victory and to let us know something about what you have been doing so far. I know it's only very recent, but I understand you are up and going, running with the ball, so to speak. So first of all, congratulations. And let me give you the opportunity to introduce your team, your elected members, and to just share with us what you have been doing and what are your plans for the next few months as we end very soon, a couple, maybe 4 months' time, 2023. So over to you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, all. First of all, I didn't expect to be in this position, but as our members in Canada have decided, I've stepped up. And again, I led the election committee. And in the process, on the last day, I think on the Friday, once I handed it over to Mr. Berry and his team for the election, we did develop all the processes and everything, put the membership drive. And in that process, I guess people got to know me a little better. And I put my name out there, and I did get elected. So I want to say thank you to all the members who came out and voted. They came and they stayed. You know, sometimes people dropped off. We had I'll say almost 70, 80% of our membership at the meeting, and we thank you. And our team feel that we have a clear mandate to go forward and create the excitement that we've been passed on from the Prime Minister all the way down. And so I'm the chair. We got Simon Samuel as my VP. We got Lancelot Lambert as treasurer. We got Ian Mack as PRO. Actually, Jana Colville as assistant PRO. We got Noel Ambrose as our treasurer. Esther Phillips, Paul George. I think they are floor members. With Alistair, I don't remember his last name. I know we had to amend that. And Lauren John. So again, we got a new team with a mix of all. We got some senior party members, who are helping to guide us. We had a first meeting on Wednesday, and we basically put in some code of conduct. You want to get everybody on the same page. We take our work seriously, and we are united as a group. We have a common aim, one, building our membership and supporting the membership in Canada. And again, continuing the hard work that Mr. Robert Nuss and the last executive started in raising funds to support the party in projects that the party put forward. We are off and running, as we said. We've had some discussion. We're in the process of developing our plans. Right now, up front, we have a couple of items. One, we want to approach it at a number of levels. One, membership involvement is critical. Even as the chair, I represent the members, and I speak on behalf of our executive committee. So it's not Garner Liverpool running the program. As a good manager, would be trying to delegate and organize, inspire people to get involved. We have a number of projects we're looking at. One of the things we want to do, and that would include getting your support, we want to be a place where our members could come from information. It's a big country. We're about 4,000 kilometers wide, and there are members doing things across the country. We want to create a medium where our members could share what they're doing. Too often we work in isolation. We don't understand, and even sometimes as executive committees, our messages are not out there. So we really want to get the message out what we're doing. One of the things we've agreed on is the adapting the school that we spoke about the last time I was on your program. That's one of those. We are looking at different ways of supporting. Of course, the gala would be one of our centerpieces as well later on. But in the meantime, we're looking at things that we could help on a local basis. For example, we're looking at setting up programs that will be on an ongoing basis. So right now, the committee, we have an 18-month plan we're looking at, and we have a subcommittee that's going to narrow it down. And every month we'll have at least 2 items, whether it's member initiatives, fundraising, or different approaches to get people involved. Another main aspect is getting our young people. I got 5 kids in Canada, and we haven't really exposed them as we should. we looking at succession planning from day one. So we get the younger people involved. We just have a whole history book. We're looking at maybe setting up talks on with former members and members in the party to kind of educate us about the history of the party and become a living monument that our young people and our members in Canada would be more aware of what the NDC represents.
All right. Now, you had an event which you participated in just this weekend, I believe yesterday. Could you just tell us something briefly about that? Because time is not on our side.
Yes. Well, the thing about us, we Grenadians, and from one of the reasons why I got elected is about unifying the group. We really believe that even though it was the Grenada Days Association All Young Festival this weekend, we wanted to go and as a committee support them. We are not walking in isolation. We want to go support and encourage each other, and hopefully in return they come and support us when we have events as well. We are Grenadians, and basically unity going forward together is what I'm trying to push.
All right. Well, we have a couple pictures which we would want to post up so the general public can, get a feel as to the unification that is taking place in Canada with our Grenadian brothers and sisters. So
yes,
that's coming up shortly. And obviously,
yes,
to publicly extend our thanks and appreciation to the outgoing chairman, Robert Nurse. He did a phenomenal job at the gala in Canada, where Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell inspired the Grenadian public out in Canada. And we're happy that you have now picked up the torch and you are shining the light out in Canada. So let me give you a few moments just for your closing remarks, because we got to move on to another subject matter very shortly.
Yeah, so one of the picture with the ladies in the red shirt, those are the chair and the vice chair of the Grenada Day Committee and our group. So we were there with Simon and myself, and it's a great setup. It ran till late, so that we were there. We got to meet members, got some names and numbers, and people who are getting excited about joining us as we'll be looking for volunteers to help us move our mandate forward.
Great. Well, thank you so very much. Seems as though we had a slight technical glitch. We weren't able to show the pics, but maybe we might be able to do that during the program. So let me thank you so very much, and congratulations again, and congratulations to the outgoing chair and his team for the wonderful work they did at the gala, and indeed for our Prime Minister inspiring the Grenadian folks and Canadians out in Canada in July at that gala. So good luck on your journey. And whatever support and assistance I can, provide, please call on me anytime. So
thank you very much.
Stay on if you wish. We will be going just shortly to the Miss Grenada USA pageant, which was held last night. And guess who was victorious? Miss Donna Forrester. Could you imagine? Well, congratulations, Donna. Congratulations indeed. You are now the Miss Grenada USA. I believe our IT professional may be having some little challenges in pulling up and posting some of these pics. But let me just say congratulations to Donna Forrester for being the victor at the Grenada USA pageant held last night in New York. So congratulations again. Let me therefore take this opportunity to now introduce the General Secretary of the party, Mr. Larry Barry. You would recall that he was on not too long ago and we chatted about party matters. Well, he's here today to give a further update on the workings of the office of the General Secretary. Welcome to Heartbeat once again, Brother Larry.
Welcome, and thank you all. Salutations and salute.
Great,
of course, it's always a pleasure, and indeed, I see you drop a hint, Terry, that beauty runs in the Forrester clan.
You said it, I didn't say it.
So congratulations. Congratulations
Yes,
to the goodly.
she is indeed beautiful.
Yes, to the goodly beauty who stole the hearts and minds of the judges and all who attended.
Absolutely.
It's always a pleasure, Terry, to be on this sort of vanguard communications medium, the heartbeat. We are indeed the heartbeat of Grenada and the diaspora, and Comrade Ghana Liverpool will continue the heartbeat of our people in the diaspora through the National Democratic Congress. So welcome, congratulations to Ghana. Of course, Terry, thank you very much. You were part of the virtual electoral team. I'm going to say this. For those of us who are understanding the transformation agenda, it also happens at the level of the party. So that, for example, we're the first political party, at least from my research so far, that commends the use of Google Forms as a virtual electoral ballot and anchoring our electoral processes of our executives in the diaspora. So all our NDC support groups, so far we have done elections in Florida, Miami, Canada, anchoring the electoral process, managed by the General Secretary and a team, including yourself, Terry. And this is historic because we are now conducting virtual elections in the National Democratic Congress under the distinguished leadership of the Honorable Deacon Mitchell. A first in this party, a first that we can conduct elections in any of our diaspora settings, managing the electoral process from right here, from the desk of the General Secretary and the team of yourself. The New York chapter has provided us with the expertise of Brother Anthony Howard, the treasurer for the New York chapter, and of course the secretary for the Florida chapter, Sister Tricia Campbell, a very competent party supporter and member. Tricia is a remarkable talent that we are greatly appreciative of. Tricia was the designer with the inputs of myself and Sister Claudette Joseph, Senator Attorney General Claudette Joseph. We were the design team for our delegates card, for the first ever use of a delegate card in our convention on March 5th, 2023. And that design was then implemented and finished by Tricia Campbell. Of course, she was the initial mock exercise manager for the use of the Google Forms as our election ballot, virtual electoral ballot, and she handed it over to, as you heard from Ghana, his team that had already prepared a lot of the work. So she did all the mock exercises in the test run with the members to get everybody up to speed with the technology and the platform. And then we handed it over to a wonderful young lady, Abby, who then took over the virtual presiding officer role for these elections in Canada. Terry, we are great when we unite and work and transform. We did say our theme, and we still executing our convention team. Convention runs from one convention to the next. So on the occasion of our 36th annual convention, when we will have another team, we continue our theme, transforming Grenada, transforming the NDC. So transformation is happening at the level of the NDC. Transformation is happening at the level of the country. So let me thank again the work of Robert Nurse and his outgoing executive. Thank the participants. We had 60 financial members in Canada. We had just about 40 participating in these elections, and we are delighted with the outcome of the process. Thank you again, Terry. Thank you, Anthony Howard. Thank you, Tricia Campbell. Thank you, Abby, for us pulling together to deliver these elections. Terry, we're more than delighted with the work that we have set out back in July when I discussed our major undertaking for our party's constitutional reform process. We have continued the process, Terry, and on the 6th of September, we completed the first round of consultations with the broad party membership. Let me recall and let me remind that the broad party leadership comprise the elected executive of the party, elected at a convention, such as at the convention held March 5th, 2023, the chairpersons of all our branches, all our organs actually. So the branches, the chairpersons of the branches, the women's the youth the diaspora chapters, and the broad party leadership continues or also comprises the MPs, senators, caretakers, and of course the PD captains or polling division captains or polling division leaders. That's the broad party leadership. And we consulted on 5 broad thematic areas of reform. And we consulted in accordance with the structure that the party has for our zonal breakdown. So our zonal breakdown aligned with the consultative process. So in Grenada, the country is divided or broken down into 3 zones. Our 5 constituencies in St. George's and St. David is the southern zone. The 4 constituencies on the west and Carriacou, the western zone. And the 4 constituencies in St. Andrew, the eastern zone. And we have our diaspora zone, where we bring together the chairpersons of New York, Florida, Canada, UK, and we are now, and in fact, at the consultative level, we already had established the interim executive for the development of our chapters in New Jersey and in Georgia.
While you let me just interject here, Barry. The New York chapter, they are celebrating very soon a great milestone achievement. Yes. You want to speak briefly about this?
Yes, we'll certainly do. We'll certainly do. I'm watching the time, but we'll certainly do. In fact, I want to cover a couple of quick things that will incorporate the New York chapter effort, yeah?
Great.
But just to say, we've completed this critical work of consultations on party reform, ending with the East Zone on September 6th, on these 4-5 broad thematic areas. So we're delighted with the work we've done so far. Of course, the political leader and Prime Minister leads the Constitution Reform Committee, and he has had an excellent run in leading us in how we work out these Tuesday engagements. Every Tuesday, give and take, we skip 1 or 2, but by and large, every Tuesday since May, we have been diligently at work on our party's constitution reform process. The next stage, we'll prepare some of the reform articles, and we go back out to consultations, this time incorporating the broad party leadership with broad party membership. So that's the next round of consultations. Then we go to a special convention in November for presentation to the party delegates for approval to introduce and implement our reformed, amended party constitution. So thank you very much, Comrade Leader. Thank you very much for all the leaders of the party that I've described earlier. And of course, we look forward to coming to the next round of consultations and then to the special convention. Terry, before I go to the incorporating of some of what you mentioned with respect to the New York chapter and others, permit me to pay homage and tribute to former Prime Minister Tillman Thomas, because it is former Prime Minister Tillman Thomas in 2008, Terry, that sought to reclaim the patrimony of this country, the patrimony that was given away, whittled away, traded away, $250,000 per year, $250,000 per year, that should have been going to fixing furniture and upgrading the technology and science labs of our schools, and consolidating the training programs at the primary school level. That is what that $250,000 per annum in leasehold rent from the acres of land on Grand Island Beach that the Radisson Hotel sits on. That is what an annual lease amount should have been going towards. The future of this country should have been financed through our annual lease. Instead, the former administration gave it away for the location of the country's flag in some nondescript part of a formidable Formula One race car driver with Grenadian lineage and heritage. And while we have no difficulty with the work and the world acclaim of the Grenadian of the race car driver with Grenadian lineage and heritage, Terry, and listeners and viewers, we abhor, and that is why I pay tribute today to former Prime Minister and political leader Tillman Thomas, because he commenced the fight to reclaim Grenada's patrimony in 2008 upon becoming the Prime Minister of this country. And when we were unsuccessful with our efforts in returning to government in 2013, after him and the cabinet and the members of this party worked gallantly and was on the cusp of having our patrimony returned to us, we were unsuccessful with our return to government. And no sooner the NNP took over, immediately they undermined all the efforts to return our patrimony to us and left the 250 million per year in the hands of people who already were multi-millionaires. But this Prime Minister and cabinet and members of this party continued the work of the Honorable Tillman Thomas. And we have succeeded in returning Grenada's patrimony to the children in Marianne and Bylands and in Sotes and in Harveyville. We have returned your patrimony to you, young people. You will have 250,000 per annum for the leasehold. But this Prime Minister, Cabinet, and party, we've gone further. At the historic parliamentary sitting that occurred on August 25th for the debate on the supplementary estimates, the Prime Minister declared not only that we are going to be easing up the parents of this country with tuition for NULO and TAMCC in the amount of 2.5 million, but he said no more. With a 2/3 majority in the parliament, we are going to bring legislation to ensure that no more would any party taking the reins of government in this country give away, whittle away, and siphon away the patrimony, not just of what was done in the case of Radisson, but none of our coastal beachfront lands will be able to be sold, lease or no lease, never, ever again to be sold. We hail and pay tribute and homage to the former Prime Minister, and we lift and herald the coming of the new Prime Minister and leader, Brother Dickon Mitchell, to carry the work of his forebears forward. Thank you very much, Comrade Leader. Thank you very much, Cabinet. Thank you very much, members of this party, for supporting and backing the restoration of the patrimony of this country. Never again will it ever be siphoned away to people who already have more than they can consume in their lifetime. Terry, we're really happy for the work that we have been doing in the party. We're really happy for the leadership provided by Comrade Chairman and political leader, Comrade Chairman Qualis and political leader Dickon Mitchell. We're delighted with the leadership we have found and the leadership that they are providing, so that when New York chapter led, and New York chapter is the vanguard chapter of this party, it is as old as the party itself on the occasion of our 35th anniversary, being 35 years old, born on the hallowed grounds of SAS in Telescope. This party was born on October 17th, 1987. And we pay tribute to our founders, the likes of Comrade Tillman Thomas and George Brizan and Crawford Best and Jerome Joseph. May his soul rest in eternal peace. We just put in down and laid his soul to rest on September 7th. And other founders. Eight faithful sons founded the NDC. Terry, when the New York chapter had a historic Prime Minister's Gala in September 2022, it set a positive, proactive chain of events. It prepared all our chapters to take the lead from the New York chapter to establish their own Prime Minister galas. And we now have, on October 14th, the Florida chapter, a chapter born under the leadership of Comrade Honorable Deacon Mitchell, a chapter born under his leadership, will have its first Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell's gala on October 14th. The UK, restored and rehabilitated and now in full flight, our UK chapter will have its first historic Prime Minister's Gala on the 4th of November. We just learned through the leadership of Comrade Robert Nurse a historic first Prime Minister's Gala, which occurred on the 1st of July 2023 in Toronto, Canada. And of course, with the emergence of our chapters in Georgia, in New Jersey, we expect that they will take the lead of the New York chapter. And we're moving forward with the New York chapter. During the period of October 5th to 9th, Terry, yourself, and I, and of course, Andy Williams, Minister for MIT, we will join our comrades in New York and engage in activities, including a town hall. We'll knock on some doors. We'll engage in some internal party matters, and then we'll have a little cocktail just to add to our resource mobilization efforts. We're going to do so on this occasion while the New York chapter is going to work with the political leader to work out a 50th anniversary extravaganza-style gala, for 2024 as we celebrate a historic milestone in the annals of this country. A milestone which will see a first, again by this leader. Grenada is a country of firsts, and we always have political leaders and prime ministers of firsts. So in a brief tribute to the former prime minister who has served for 23 of the last 50 years of this country. He served as prime minister for 23 of the last 50 years. It was under his prime ministership, Grenada had its first near 50% MP as women in a cabinet in the OECS. So we pay a little tribute to the former prime minister for having a cabinet of 7 female MPs, nearly 50%. And that was historic in itself. Of course, we're the country with the first revolution in the English-speaking Caribbean. Of course, we have so many firsts. We're the first OECS country to journey to independence after the Federation experiment failed and Jamaica and Trinidad went their way in 62. Barbados went her way in 65, 66, 66. And of course, Grenada was the first, since Barbados did not take the opportunity to become part of the OECS march. And Barbados went her way in 66. Grenada led the OECS to be the first to seek and achieve its independence in 74. Hence, we're the first to celebrate 50 years or Golden Jubilee in 2024. Terry, is a lot. Yeah, but we are delighted with the work of the leader and party and government, insofar as we have a fantastic presentation to make to the country on the 50th anniversary and our work and how the country will be part of this effort going forward. We have a range of parish leads helping coordinate some specific parish events. We're going to roll out major program of celebrations, a year-long celebration. You know, the Prime Minister in his inaugural anniversary address to the nation down at Radisson, he did present the first of the OECS country under the Eastern Caribbean Bank Currency Union to have a $50 note. And let me remind former Minister of Economic Development of the previous administration, let me remind him, the $50 note is legal tender for the payment of any amount. Let me say to the nation, as the Prime Minister said then, it is a note, a $50 note that will be in regular circulation. The note is exchangeable. It is a regular $50 note with unique design by Grenadian designers. In fact, another first, because the ECCB gave us remit to do the design. We're going to release the design at the launch of the 50th anniversary celebrations, and it is going to be a design of unique pride for this country. Various strands of the old and the new will be incorporated in the design so that we all will be proud of our 50-year journey, because the note will represent a 50-year journey. All of us will take one of those notes when they're in circulation, frame it, and take another note to hand down as part of our inheritance that we're going to leave for generations to come. But it will be a note with legal tender. It will be a note for circulation. It will be a note that you could go in the shop and spend. And then the note will be sent out to the diaspora. So all the hundreds of thousands of Grenadians and those with Grenadians' heritage and lineage, where the note is not legal tender, can have that note for posterity, frame it so that it will last another 50 years. So when we celebrated the 100-year anniversary of this country's independence, the $50 note will be waived, and those who are going to have it will have it for posterity. So
Indeed.
that's the reminder to the former.
I trust you'll be around for the 100th.
I want to be around for the 100th. And if I continue to exercise and eat fruits and drink water, probably I would.
Absolutely. Well, we're coming up on just another 5 minutes left. So let us get to the winding down of your report. And I have a special announcement to make just as you finish your presentation. So please proceed.
Thank you very much, Terry. Thank you for the shoulders of the founders of this party, whose shoulders we always stand on. We're delighted with the work of our various organs of the party. We look forward to the work of our organs of the party. Our women's arm, we have our general meeting, our women's arm membership on the 30th of this month. We do have a couple of elections coming up, St. Andrew Southwest, among others. The elections are coming up for new executives. We look forward to the continued resource mobilization work of our branches. We look forward to the rollout of our training from the training committee. The training committee provided a comprehensive party manual for the training of our party foot soldiers, crisscrossing 5 critical areas of training, which is going to consolidate our party's work and help us strengthen from our party's work, our institutional development, or structures of the party, right across that gamut to our election day readiness or EDM machinery, and consequently, to have our party have a successful tenure in government. Terry, we do have a range of work plan activities rolling out across various constituencies. We are currently let me not disclose certain strategic approaches we're taking, but we do have some important. For example, I'm heading off again for the 2nd or 3rd Sunday in a row after Heartbeat. I'm engaged with a couple of party matters, and then I head off to St. Mark for us to continue building out some of our work planning and programming out there. And we are going to be doing that across a first cohort of critical constituencies. Those members and supporters will be aware as we do so, and as we roll it out. We are going to be increasing our work on the ground. We had a fantastic knocking on doors in St. Mark, consistent with a specific strategic framework that we are engaging in in a specific cohort of constituencies. We're doing that. We had a rollout of our knocking on doors in Union specifically to engage the people of Union. We knocked on almost every door. We engaged in a couple of shops, talking to our constituents and residents in Union about their choice, their decision around the Union playing field and pavilion. We are aware that the Union pavilion and playing field has been a work in progress for a decade under the previous administration, for an entire decade, and actually before that. The current status requires a significant investment in its completion and continuation in terms of what the pavilion, role of the pavilion and the 2 floors there can do, and the work that has been done on the playing field. We want to thank the urban engineers for having already gone and given some preliminary designs around what can happen. But we're really happy with the response of the residents, Terry, of Union, and the comprehensive approval. Like I said, Terry, we probably knocked every door in that community. Of course, it was a Wednesday evening. We started at 3. We ended at 7 in the shops on the main road there, just below the school, the Samaritan School. But what we found is an overwhelming positive reception to us coming and seeking the residents' input on how we should go forward with the Union pavilion and playing field. We asked them for their own choice. We asked them to please tell us what it is that you would do, given the opportunity or having a responsibility for it, or any other idea you would have. 95% insisted that we build, complete the work up there, put light in, and make it available for the young people.
We have 30 seconds, General Secretary, and yes. We'll have to invite you back. We'll have
yes. Remember, I'm going to be back every last Sunday, save and except when circumstances doesn't allow. So we're delighted to have the inputs of the residents. We're delighted to continue to stand on the shoulders of our founders and those who have gone before us. We're delighted with the work of a new leader, both chairman and political leader of the party. And we're delighted with the support and the work of our members and the supporters. We continue to pay homage to the Most High for giving us the health and the strength to continue this work. And we're doing so with the joy that we see Grenada being developed. In the 14 months of our government so far, our achievements are incomparable. And we're delighted with what we have received from the wider public so far.
Thank you so very much, General Secretary. Delighted to have you on the Heartbeat today with this very comprehensive reporting. At this time, let me just make 2 announcements. First of all, just to make a correction to the Miss Grenada USA pageant. The victor was Michaelia, not Donna. Donna is her mother, actually. So it was Michaelia Forrester who was the victor for the Miss Grenada USA 2023. And on a sad note, unfortunately, we are saddened by the loss of the Honorable Philip Telesford's father. His father passed away yesterday. And on behalf of the political leader, the entire cabinet, the entire executive, party supporters, and all well-wishers in Grenada, we want to extend our sincere condolences to the Telesford family, and in particular to the Honorable Philip Telesford for him having lost his father yesterday. May you continue to take joy in his legacy and be comforted by those wonderful moments. Thank you very much indeed. And we will catch up with all of you again next week, Sunday, where the Heartbeat will come to your living rooms. Thank you, and do have a great Sunday afternoon. Goodbye.
Although Michaela is full of spice, she also has a sweet side to her. Hagang represents femininity, encapsulating the essence of grace, elegance, and strength that defines womanhood. She aims to exemplify generosity, a trait she gained from a Grenadian upbringing. For pink is not just a color, but a reflection of the compassion that resides in her heart for other people. Like the blossoms on her gown, she aspires to speak kindness warmth wherever she goes, nurturing the bonds that connect us all and continues to create a sweet spice community. Miss Michaela Forrester. And Michaela's number is number 5.
Good night,
Question
Michaela.
5.
Good night. How are you?
How are you?
I am doing amazing. I feel so good. I'm having so much support from my family and friends, and I am feeling so blessed.
That's wonderful. So your question is simply, what is your dream job?
Well, currently I am living my dream job. I am proud to say that I am an actress, so I've had the opportunity to perform in theater and television and commercials. But further on in life, I want to continue being an actress, but do so on a higher scale. I also want to create my own production company. I love creating and I love writing, and one of my main goals is to create television and movies for smaller Caribbean islands, specifically Grenada, of course. Growing up, I always longed to see a television show or someone that was similar to me, someone that was Grenadian, and that's just something I always strived for. So I know in a couple of years, I will be able to create a series or create a movie that highlights Grenada and give it the shine that it deserves, because we are the top island. We are the top island, okay? So my dream job is to continue being an actress and create work that exemplifies Grenada. Thank you.
Miss Michaela Forrester.